Valley of Ijon. Okay. Valley of Ijon. So the sun stood still and the moon stopped till the nation. Okay. Till the nation avenged itself on its enemies. As it is written in the book of Jashar, the sun stopped in the middle of the sky and delayed going down about a full day. There has never been a day like it before or since, a day when the Lord listened to a human being. Surely the Lord was fighting for Israel. Okay. Then Joshua returned with all Israel to the camp at Gilgal. 5 Amorite kings killed, When the 5 kings had fled and hidden in the cave at Mekadesh, when Joshua was told that the 5 kings had been found hiding in the cave of Mekadesh, he said, "Roll large rocks up the mount of the cave and post some men there to guard it. But don't stop pursuing your enemies, attack them from the rear, and don't let them reach the cities, for the Lord your God is giving them into your hand." So Joshua and the Israelites defeated them completely. Give me a sec. Okay, let me just turn off the Wi-Fi so I don't. Yeah, I already did that. Okay. Attack them from the rear. So Joshua and the others defeated them completely, but the few survivors managed to reach their fortified cities. The whole army returned safely to Joshua in the camp of Makadah, and no one uttered a word against the Israelites. Joshua said, "Open the mouth of the cave and bring those 5 kings out to me." So they brought the 5 kings out of the cave, the kings of Jerusalem, Hebron, Jarmuth, Lachish, and Eglon. When they had brought these kings to Joshua, he summoned all the men of Israel and said to the army commanders who had some with him, "Come here and put your fleet on the necks of those kings." Feet next to the kings. So they came forward and placed their feet on their necks. Joshua said to them, "Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, be strong and courageous. This is what the Lord will do to all the enemies we are going to fight." Then Joshua put the kings to death and exposed their bodies on 5 poles, and they were left hanging on the poles until evening. As soon as Joshua gave the order, and they took them down from the poles and threw them into the cave where they had been hiding. At the mount of the cave they placed large large rocks, which are there to this day. 10 Joshua 10. Let's check it into 14 perhaps. Southern city is conquered. That day Joshua took Makadesh. He put the city and its king to the sword and totally destroyed everyone in it. He left no survivors, and he did to the king of Makadesh as he had done to the king of Jericho. Then Joshua and Israel with him moved on from Makadesh to Libnah and attacked it. The Lord also gave the city and its king into Israel's hand. The city and everyone in it Joshua put to the sword and left no survivors there, and he did to its king as he had done to the king of Jericho. Then Joshua and all Israel with him moved on from Libnah to Lachish. He took up positions against it and attacked it. The Lord gave Lachish into Israel's hands, and Joshua took it on the second day. The city and everyone in it he put to the sword, just as he had done to Libnah. Meanwhile, Horam, king of Gezer, had come up to help Lachish, but Joshua defeated him and his army until no survivors were left. Then Joshua and all Israel with him moved on from Lachish to Eglon. They took up positions against it and attacked it. They captured it the same day and put it to the sword and totally destroyed everyone in it, just as they had done to Lachish. Then Joshua and all Israel went with him went up from Egbon to Hebron and attacked it. They took the city and put it to the sword together with its king, its villagers, and everyone in it. Villages and everyone in it. They left no survivors, just as at Eglon. They totally destroyed it and everyone in it. Then Joshua and all Israel with him turned around and attacked the Bir. They took the city, its king and its villages, and put them to the sword. Everyone in it was totally destroyed. They left no survivors. They did to the Bir and his king as they had done to Libnah and the king of Hebron. So Joshua subdued the whole region, including the hill country, the Negev, the western foothills, and the mountain slopes, together with all their kings. He left no survivors. He totally destroyed all who breathed, just as the Lord, the God of Israel, had commanded. Joshua subdued them from Kadesh Barnea to Gaza. Woo! Gaza referenced. And the whole region to Geshen, of Geshen to Gibeon. All these kings and their lands Joshua conquered in one campaign, because the Lord, the God of Israel, fought for Israel. Then Joshua returned with all Israel to the camp at the Gilgal. Oh, that's kinda short, let's go. Northern kings defeated. When Jabin, king of Hazor, heard of this, he sent word to Jacob, king Jobab, king of Madon, the kings of Shimron and Akshaph, on the northern kings who were in the mountains, in the Arbach south of Kinneret, in the western foothills, and in Naphot Dor on the west, to the Canaanites in the east and west, to the Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites, and Jebusites in the hill country, and the Havites below Hermon in the region of Mizpah. They came out with all their troops and a large number of horses and chariots, a huge army, as numerous as the sands of the seashore. All these kings joined forces and made camp together at the waters of Merom to fight against Israel. The Lord said to Joshua, "Do not be afraid of them, because by this time tomorrow I will hand all of them slain over to Israel. You are to hamstring their horses and burn their chariots." Joshua and his whole army came against them suddenly at the waters of Merom and attacked them. And the Lord gave them into the hand of Israel. They defeated them and pursued them all the way to Greater Sidon, to Miserpot Maim, and to the valley of Mizpah on the east, until no survivors were left. Joshua did to them as the Lord had dictated. He hamstrung their horses and burned their chariots. At that time, Joshua turned back and captured Hazor and put its king to the sword. Hazor has been the head of all these kingdoms. Everyone in it they put to the sword, totally destroyed them, no sparing anyone that breathed, and he burned Hazor itself. Joshua took all these royal cities and their kings and put them to the sword. He totally destroyed them, as Moses, the servant of the Lord, had commanded. Yet Israel did not burn any of the cities built on their mounts except Hazor, which Joshua burned. The Israelites carried off themselves all the plunder and livestock out of the cities, but all the people they put to the sword until they completely destroyed them, not sparing anyone that breathed. As the Lord commanded his servant Moses, so Moses commanded Joshua, and Joshua did it. He left nothing undone of all that the Lord commanded Moses. So Joshua took the entire land, the hill country, all the Negev, the whole region of Goshen, the western foothills, the Arbach, and the mountains to Israel with their foothills, from Mount Halak, which rises towards Seir, to Baal Gad in the valley of Lebanon, below Mount Hermon. He captured all their kings and put them to death. Joshua waged war against all these kings for a long time, except for the Herites living in Gibeon. Not one city made a peace made a treaty of peace with the Israelites, who took them all in battle. For it was the Lord himself who hardened their hearts to wage war against Israel, so that he might destroy them totally, exterminating them without mercy, as the Lord had commanded Moses. What the fuck? Why do you do that, God? Chikora, what the fuck? Lock in, man. Why do you make the people angry so they wage wars to destroy them? Well, can you just destroy them? At that time Joshua went and destroyed the Anakites from the hill country, from Hebron, Debir, and Anap, from all the hill country to Judah, and from all the hill country of Israel. Joshua totally destroyed them and their towns, and no Anakites were left in Israelite territory, only Gaza and Ashdod did any survive. So Joshua took the entire land, just as the Lord had directed Moses, and gave it as an inheritance to Israel according to their tribal divisions. Then the land had rest from war. Cool. That's kinda short. These are the kings of the land whom the Israelites had defeated and whose territory they took off east of the Jordan, from the Arnon Gorge to Mount Gibeon, including all the eastern side of the Arabah. Shinun, king of the Amorites, who reigned in Heshbon, he ruled for Aroer from Aroer on the rim of the Aroer from the rim of the Arnon Gorge, from the middle of the gorge to the Jabbok river, which is the border of the Ammonites. This included half of Gilead. He also ruled over the eastern Arabah, from the Sea of Galilee to the Sea of the Arabah, that is the Dead Sea, to Bet Jeshimot, and then southward below the slopes of Pisgah. In the territory of Og, king of Bashan, one of the last of the Rephites, who reigned in Ashotarot and Edrei, he ruled over Mount Hermon, Selekah, all of Bashan, to the border of the people of Geshur, and Makah, and half of Gilead, to the border of Sihon, the king of Heshbon. Moses, the servant of the Lord, and the Israelites conquered them, and Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave their land to the Reubenites, the Gadiites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh to be their possession. Moses, the servants of the Lord, gave their land to the Reubenites, the Gadiites. Here is a list of the kings of the land that Joshua and Israel conquered on the west side of the Jordan, from Baal-Gad to the valley of Lebanon to Mount Harak, which rises towards Seir. Joshua gave their lands as inheritance to the tribe of Israel according to their tribal divisions. The lands included the hill country, the western foothills, the Arabah, the mountain slopes, the wilderness, and the Negev. These were the lands of the Hittites, Amorites, Canaanites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. These were the kings: king of Jericho, the king of Ai near Bethel, 1. The king of Jerusalem, the king of Hebron, 1. The king of Jarmut, 1. The king of Lasech, 1. The king of Egon, 1. The king of Gezer, 1. The king of Debir, 1. The king of Geder, 1. The king of Hormach, 1. The king of Arat, 1. The king of Libnah, 1. The king of Aduam, 1. The king of Makedah, 1. The king of Bethel, 1. The king of Tupah, 1. The king of Hepher, 1. The king of Abhek, 1. The king of Lasharon, 1. The king of Madon, 1. The king of Hazor, 1. The king of Shimron Meron, 1. The king of Akshap, 1. The king of Tanak, 1. The king of Megiddo, 1. The king of Kadesh, 1. The king of Jokneamu in Carmel won the king of Dor in Nabhordor won the king of Goyim in Gilgad won the king of Tirzah won the 30 kings in all. Okay, whatever. When Joshua had grown old, the Lord said to him, "You're now very old, and there are still very large areas of land to be taken over. This is the land that remains all the regions of the Philiites and the Jeshurites from the Shiro River on the east of Egypt to the territory of Ekron on the north. All of it counted as Canaanite, true, held by the 5 Philistine rulers in Gaza: Ashbod, Ashkelon, Gad, and Ekron, the territory of the Avites. On the south, all the land of the Canaanites from Arach of the Sidonians as far as Aphek, and the border of the Amorites, the area of Bybos, and all Lebanon, the east from Baal Gad below Mount Hermon to Lebanon. As for all the inhabitants of the mount regions from Lebanon to Misrof Meir, that is, all the Sidonians, I myself will drive them out before the Israelites. Be sure to allocate this land to Israel for an inheritance as I have instructed you, and divide it as an inheritance among the 9 tribes and half of the tribe of Manasseh. Division of the land east of the Jordan. The other half of Manasseh, the Reubenites and the Gadites, had received the inheritance that Moses had given them east of the Jordan, as he, the servant of the Lord, has assigned it to them. It extended from Aroer of the rim of Arnon, George, and from the town in the middle of the gorge, and included the whole plateau of Medeba as far as Digbon, and all the towns of Sihon, king of the Amorites, who ruled in Heshbon, out to the border of the Ammonites. It also included Gilead, the territory of the people of the territory of the people of Geshur, and Makah, of all of Mount Hermon, and Bashan as far as Selikah. This is the whole kingdom of Og in Bashan, who had reigned in Ashtaroth and Edrei. He was in the first, he was the last of the Rephaites. Moses had defeated them and taken over the land, but the Israelites did not drive out the people of Geshur and Makah, so they continued to live among the Israelites to this day. But to the tribe of Levi he gave no inheritance. Hence the food offerings presented from the Lord, the God of Israel, are their inheritance as he promised. This is what Moses gave to the tribe of Reuben according to its clans. Territory of Aroer on the rim of Arnon, George, and from the town in the middle of the George and the whole plateau past Medeba, the Heshbon and all its towns on the plateau, including Dibon, Bamot, Bet Meon, Jahaz, Kedemot, Kephat, Kiriathaim, Sibma, Zeret, Shahar, and the hill in the valley, Bet Peor, the slopes of Pisgah, the Bet Jeshimot, all the towns of the plateau and the entire realm of Shion, king of the Amorites, who ruled at Heshbon. Moses had defeated him and the Midianite chiefs Evi, Erekem, Zurhur, and Reba, princes allied with Sihon, who lived in that country. In addition to those slain in battle, the Israelites had put to the sword Balaam, son of Beor, who practiced divination. The boundary of the Reubenites was the bank of the Jordan. These towns and their villages were inheritance to Reubenites according to their class. This is what the Moses had given the tribe of Gad according to the clans: the territory of Jazer, of the towns of Gilead, and half the Amorite country as far as Aroer near Rabbah, and from Heshbon to Ramat Mizpah and Betonim, and from Mahanaim, the territory of Debir, and in the valley Bet Haram, Bet Nimrach, Sukkot, and Zaphon, with the rest of the realm of Sihon, king of Heshbon. The east side of the Jordan, the territory up to the end of the Sea of Galilee. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of the Gadites according to their clans. This is what Moses had given to the half-tribe of Manasseh, that is, to have the family of descendants of Manasseh according to their clans, the territory extending from Mahanaim on and including all of Bashan, the entire realm of Og, king of Bashan, all the settlements in Jair, the Bashan 60 towns, half of Gilead and Ashtaroth and Edrei, the real cities of Og in Bashan. This was the descendants of Machir, son of Manasseh, for half of the son of Machir, according to their clans. This is the inheritance Moses was given when he was in the plains of Moab, according to the Jordan east of Jericho. But to the tribe of Levi, Moses has given no inheritance. The Lord, the God of Israel, is their inheritance as he promised. Okay, I'm finishing this and I'm done. Division of the land west of Jordan. Now these are the areas the Israelites received the inheritance as an inheritance in the land of Canaan, which Eleazar the priest, Joshua son of Nun, and the heads of the tribal clans of Israel allotted them. Their inheritance were assigned by lot to the 9.5 tribes, as the Lord has commanded to Moses. Moses had granted the 2.5 tribes their inheritance east of the Jordan, but he had not granted the Levites an inheritance among the rest. For Joseph's descendants had become 2 tribes, Manasseh and Ephraim. The Levites received no share of the land, but only 2 towns to live in, with pasture lands for their flocks and herds. So the Israelites divided the land as the Lord had commanded Moses. Allotment for Caleb. Now the people of Judah approached Joshua and Gilgal, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite, said to him, "You know what the Lord said to Moses, the man of God, at Kadesh Barnea about you and me. I was 40 years old when Moses, the servant of the Lord, sent me from Kadesh Barnea to explore the land, and I brought him back a report according to my convictions. But my fellow Israelites who went up with me made the heart of the people melt in fear. I, however, followed the Lord my God wholeheartedly. So on that day Moses swore to me, the land on which your feet have walked will be your inheritance, and that of your children forever, because you have followed the Lord my God wholeheartedly. Now then, just as the Lord promised, He has kept me alive for 45 years since the time He says this to Moses, while Israel moved about in the wilderness. So there I am today, 85 years old. I'm still as strong as the day Moses sent me out. I'm just as vigorous to go out to battle now as I was then. Now give me this hill country that the Lord promised me that day. You yourself heard that the Anakites were there and their cities were large and fortified, but the Lord helping me, I'll drop them out just as He said. Then Joshua blessed Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and gave him Hebron as his inheritance. So Hebron has belonged to Caleb, son of Jephunneh, the Canaanite ever since, because he followed the Lord, the God of Israel, wholeheartedly. Hebron used to be called Kiryat Arba after Rabbah, who was the greatest man among the Anakites. Then the land had rest from war. Okay, I'm at Joshua 15. Start of Joshua 15. Okay, that's the video. Thank you for watching.